Okay, before I start, I gotta say, I do apologize for whenever I have to delete a video and you guys really seem to enjoy it. But, whenever I talk to these people and I already made the video, it's always up to them whether or not I can keep it up. So, yeah, I'm kind of sorry for deleting whenever I have to delete something like Friday's video. One of these days, for an anniversary, I swear, we gotta have a memorial for all the videos that I've made that, unfortunately, for some reason or the other, the owners asked me to take it down. Maybe we could have a little candlelit dinner or something. I don't know. The Lunaverse! Episode 26 at the Grand Galloping Gala by Rainbow Double Dash. Chapter 7 Back in Ponyville. Making clouds the old-fashioned way was something that was still done in many of the smaller townships throughout Equestria. Mostly the communities that didn't center around farming. Ponyville did center around farming, however, and further was not small by any means, with the full expanse of the town and its environs taking up more than a sixth of the entire North Everfree province. Raindrops, and indeed the entire Weather Patrol, had been clocking a lot of overtime as a result of the need to make clouds without the benefit of Cloudsdale Weather Factory. There was even more than a third of the town's non-Weather Patrol Pegasi volunteering to help. It was a four-stage process being conducted at the Ponyville Highland Reservoir, which lay near the train tracks that connected the Ponyville to the outside world. First, a team of Pegasi would dive down into the reservoir, slugging themselves thoroughly before shooting hundreds of feet into the air. The natural magic would seep from their feathers and hose into the water droplets before they cascaded off the Pegasi. The second team waited below, flying in circles and beating their wings, sending the falling water droplets upwards whenever they tried to fall, until eventually the droplets dissolved into magic-charged vapor fog that would rise up towards the sky. This vapor was collected by a third team of Pegasi flying 1,000 feet into the air, who used their hose and wings to condense fog into cumulus clouds, before passing them off to the final team of Pegasi, who could cart the clouds off into a silo in town, there to be stored until needed. It was a long, slow, trying job, making even a single decent-sized cloud, let alone the hundreds of silos needed to be filled. The vapor maker job was undoubtedly the worst, though, as it required constant flying, often upside down in order to create the updrafts necessary to buoy the droplets as they fell for the diving team. It was also inefficient, as hundreds of drops of water would fall back into the reservoir anyway, for every one that was successfully transformed to vapor. Raindrops, a vapor maker along with the rest of the actual weather patrol, leaving the easier jobs of diver and sculptor to inexperienced volunteers, estimated that they were only making one cumulus per cloud per hour at best, and that was with dozens of Pegasi working on diving, vapor making, and sculpting each. Some part of Raindrops felt a sense of tribal pride stirring at doing those things the old-fashioned way along with her fellow Pegasi. For most parts, she was just tired, and really hoping that a goodly portion of what little emergency funds the town had would be used to acquire new clouds from Cloudsdale. The Weather Factory there were able to churn out a half a dozen clouds at the same time with nearly not as much effort expended. The whistle of a train coming in for Canterlot, the 4:30 at last, made just a tired-looking Rainbow Dash, who had been moving between all three jobs, filling in where she was needed, call it a day for the Weather Patrol volunteers. Almost as one, the Pegasi let themselves fall to the ground, including Raindrops, going so far as to dive into the reservoir itself to cool off. By the time Raindrops emerged, sitting down on the side of the reservoir, the train was steaming on by the reservoir. It was surprisingly full. Ponyville hadn't been visited very often over the past week for obvious reasons. This train, however, was literally crawling with ponies, several of them in uniform standing on top of an armored car in the middle of the train, wearing official-looking uniforms and with sheathed but obvious weapons, mostly short truncheons, though there were also crossbows. Raindrops frowned silently at the sight. What now? What could possibly be happening to Ponyville now? Despite her aching wings, she took to the sky, along with many of the other Pegasi, and followed the train from the reservoir to the town, keeping a respectful distance from the armored car, lest the guards with crossbows decide they might be needed. By the time the train pulled into the station, several Pegasi had broken off the team to spread the word. Those raindrops alighted on top of the train platform. She found herself joined by a small crowd of other ponies that had seen the cloud of Pegasi following the train into town and wanted to know what was going on. As soon as the train came to a complete stop, the car immediately in front of the armored car opened, and Trixie, bedecked in her hat and cape of course, tried it out. She waved to her friend, but took a few moments to say something in a low voice to the armored car guards before heading over to her. "I'm back!" Trixie announced loudly so the small crowd of ponies who had gathered at the train station and Pegasi who were still in the air could hear. "You've brought friends," Raindrops noted, eyeing the guards. They hadn't noticed, working on undoing the locks of the armored car. "You look unfriendly." Trixie smiled, whining a little. "Don't worry. They're here just to protect what's in the car." "Why? What's in there?" Trixie's smile grew wide, and several inches at that, as though Raindrops had asked just the right question, and the unicorn flourished one hoof. As if on cue, or in all likelihood, given that Trixie had been talking in hushed tones with the guards ahead of time, precisely on cue. Two of the guards had clasped the door into the armored train car and opened it, revealing several long, secure chests, each stamped with the seal of the Royal Bank of Equestria and the REMM. Trixie's smile grew wider as one of the chests was brought to the ponies inside the car, who unlocked it with 4 different keys and opened to reveal large, neat stacks of coins. "My dear Raindrops," Trixie said, still loud enough so everybody in the crowd could hear her, "one does not transport 300,000 silver bits without an escort." Once more, an impromptu town meeting was held in the farmer's market, with Trixie and the rest of the town council on stage, hundreds of Ponyvillians sitting before it. Unlike last time, however, there was not defeat and shock in the eyes of the assembled ponies. Instead, there was genuine hope, though it was hope that was being closely guarded lest it be snatched away from them. "Now, even for the Night Court," Trixie said to the gathered ponies, "this shy of 900,000 bits is a lot of money to gather all at once. So, the REMM is giving Ponyville relief money in 3 parts. A shipment of 300,000 bits this week and next week. Then a week after the remaining 285,000. It's all coming in cash and being stored at the town hall. The Equestrian Royal Bank has insisted on keeping guards on it at all times, for obvious reasons." "Cash?" Barry Puns asked, tapping her host together as he looked at Cheerily. "Why cash?" "It'll make things easier for us," Cheerily pointed out. "Being able to offer real bits up front, bits straight from the bank, will probably get contractors in a bidding war for us. Might make the repairs cheaper and faster." Barry Puns nodded at that understanding. She stood up from where she had been sitting, raising a hoof and received a nod from Trixie. "How's the money gonna be spent?" she asked. Cheerily stood as well, only to put a reassuring hoof over her sister's shoulder, as she too looked at Trixie. Trixie winced, though only slightly. "That's the inconvenient part," she admitted. "By law, the money first has to go to places vital to the governance and maintenance of Equestria. That means we need to budget out how much money is going to the town hall, the courthouse, the weather station, post office, and the train station. All those places first. Once we have a budget hammered out, we don't need to actually have fixed those places. Just submit to the REMM how much money is going to be spent. Then, money can be handed out to private citizens, starting with the highest priorities and working downwards." Barry Punch stood at that, and Cheerily felt a pang of worry for her sister. Her livelihood was all but ruined, but she couldn't honestly claim that a bar and soda shop could be considered a high priority, not when she was competing with apothecaries, farms, grocery stores for relief money. Nearby, Cheerily spotted Lyra giving Bonbon a similar hug. "How long will working downwards take?" Cheerily asked. There was a slight edge as she couldn't keep in her voice, so she knew for a fact Trixie was only a messenger here, and that this news was good news, just not amazingly good as she wanted it to be. Trixie's smile returned to that question. "I've spoken to the princess," she said. "On Monday, there's basically going to be an army of accountants and claims experts coming to town. They'll be conducting interviews and assessing the damages. The princess wants this whole thing to be resolved as quickly as possible. So, they'll be working overtime and should be done by Wednesday at the latest. After that, They'll start organizing priority and doling out cash to private citizens by Friday. And from there, it's being up to you how the best to spend your relief money. Best guess is that by this time next week, even if your pony hasn't received cash yet, they'll at least have an idea of when it'll arrive. And it definitely will be in your house no more than a day, maybe two, after the last shipment arrives. The crowd of ponies broke out into discussion at that, looking between each other, talking amongst themselves, wondering where their livelihoods would be placed on priority scale, and whether a night court, which had come close to abandoning them already, would be able to keep to that schedule that Trixie had just promised. Conversations began to rise slightly in volume over the next minute. Trixie's smile dropped at the sound as her eyes darted across the crowd in worry. "That's great, though!" A voice called out above the rest. Shirley looked and saw Canterlot making her way to the crowd. In front of the stage. She looked dog-tired, and had probably been working well past sunset, and well before sunrise, every day, trying to fix her farm and start growing carrots again. She climbed up the stage, however. Her exhaustion was replaced by a look of determination. "This time a few days ago," Canterlot said once he was on stage facing the Ponyvillians, "we didn't think we had any money coming our way. Like said Trixie, we have at least every last bit we asked for Canterlot coming." "I agree," Charlie counted out, making sure to give Gary Punch a reassuring hug before joining Canterlot and Trixie on stage. "We all knew we had to be sticking together and helping each other out, right? We're still doing that now, but there's an end in sight, a good end." "Why did it take it so long in the first place?" one pony footer called from the crowd. "I think that needs to be answered. Canterlot was going to abandon us, and what's all this help going to cost us?" Canterlot and Shirley both looked at Trixie at that, standing still considering. "There are no strings attached," she said at length. "No expectations apart from the ones I already mentioned. The money is Ponyville's, every last jangle. We can't just have it in a pile for any pony to grab. It needs to be organized and hoofed out responsibly. It'll take a few days to figure out how to do that." The murmur started up again at that, but this time every pony seemed to come to agreement that Trixie had a point. Ivory Scroll, who had been talking quietly with the rest of the town council, stood as the murmurs began dying down, and walked over to Trixie. "Representative Trixie, you'll forgive us for being guarded," she asked. "We've been to the sun and back of it this past week, and I think we're letting it show. The simple fact is, though, that 2 days ago it had looked like Canterlot, the Night Court, and the Princess herself had abandoned us. Then you went to Canterlot, and you returned with everything we needed, everything we asked for. So, from the bottom of our hearts, on behalf of all of Ponyville, thank you, Representative." Ivory Scroll bowed her head, even as the rest of the council stood from their table and did likewise. Shirley looked back to the crowd, who at least seemed to be taking in what Shirley and Canterlot had said, and that even right now they were in the same spot. There was now a hope spot, a reason to think that Ponyville could make it through this bad time, come force you count again. "You heard the mayor," she said. "Come on, Trixie deserves at least one cheer. Hip hip! Hooray!" About a third of the ponies in the crowd called out disjointly, not expecting the cheer. Some pony in the crowd must have not liked how empty it sounded. There's a moment there was another rallying crowd. "Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray!" "Thank you, Piggy. You're welcome." This last was either every pony in the crowd, or as close to no difference. Following that came hoof stomps, whistles, and other exhortations, enough to rattle the earth and make their stage that the town council, Trixie and her friends stood upon. Tyrion looked at Trixie, expecting to see her friends drinking in the cheers with a smug grin. That was usually how she took in applause, whenever she put on a mask or so, after all. Instead, however, Trixie was looking at the crowd with something that resembled shock. Her eyes were wide and wiry. Shirley and Canterlot both were beside her in a moment. Close on Trixie's withers as the unicorn took off her wizard's cap, used it to hide her face from the town. Despite her tears, though, she was smiling behind that hat. "Shirley?" Shirley asked over again, "Are you all right?" Trixie nodded, closing her eyes and sniffing slightly. "I need this," she responded. "You have no idea." Trixie wiped her hat, put her hat back on her head, looked at the crowd. A shell of stiff coming over her features as she stepped forward and threw her hose wide, horn glowing. From behind the stage, a series of illusionary fireworks launched into the sky, exploding to a cacophony of colors and shapes, and nearly deafening sounds. That only made the crowd cheer even wider. When the last firework went off, Trixie bowed deeply to Ponyville, and quietly, so quietly that Shirley, who was only a few weak, could barely hear her, asked, "Was there any ever doubt?" She asked as a rhetorical, hubristic question, demanding of her pony, reassuring herself that she was actually worth the damn. Shirley trotted over to Trixie's side. Once more playing on Hellfire Weathers. "Never," she assured her. "You didn't answer Flitter's other question," Lyra noted later. At Trixie's home, her living room was basically intact from the zebra-induced riot, at least structurally, with the window only having a few spiderweb cracks. More notable was the tears to all the furniture from the previously overturned bookcase, but Trixie had put all the books in together without organizing them. Not that this actually changed much from the bookcase's state before the riot. Lyra, Trixie, and her other friends were all gathered, eager to hear about what happened at Canterlot. Normally, Trixie would provide a wide assortment of beverages, with various levels of alcohol in them for her friends to relax the remainder of the night with. But she was both out of said beverages, and neither Lyra nor anybody else in the room felt like risking alcohol quite yet anyway. Instead, the gathered ponies stuck with glasses of water, not trusting its use of Trixie's icebox that had not have been spiked at some point during the riot. Trixie grimaced at Lyra's point, looking down at her glass. "I know there were problems." Lyra frowned at that, looking at everybody else before pressing on. Carrot-Top and Raindrops both looked like they were fighting the urge to just nod off, both exhausted from the work they had to do over the past few days. Seriously and Ditzy both looked fragile, meanwhile. The former worried for her sister's bar, and the latter worried about her own home. Money was usually tight enough for Ditzy under the best of circumstances. The Great Pegasus was visibly thrilled to hear that the relief money would be coming after all. Lying on the mostly cat parts of the couch was Dinky, having arrived with her mother full of smiles of joy to see Trixie return, but had slowly lost a bottle of exhaustion from helping her mother clean up their home. When Trixie didn't elaborate, other than to continue contemplating her glass, Lyra spoke up again. "Night court problems?" Trixie flinched at the question, looking at every pony else in the room. "Okay," she said. "When I arrived 2 days ago, when I got out the train, I ran into a little welcoming committee." Trixie kept talking for some time after that, about how every move through Canterlot was blocked by manipulations and cronies of Blue Blood, Greengrass, and Fisher, the last being a new name for Lyra, at least insofar as Trixie's political enemies were concerned. As they finally resorted to breaking into Nightlight's office to talk to him, how he outlined to her how he blamed her for his daughter's disappearance, and how he viewed Trixie as nothing more than a vainglorious, petty, noble in training, seeking to climb into the Night Court for her own gratification. She needed to pause after relating his ultimatum for her leaving alone, and when she continued. Lyra's eyes grew steadily lighter when she listened to Luna's words through Trixie's mouth, about the cycles of history that Luna saw, her knowledge of the corruption in Night Court, and unwillingness to truly step up and change things. When Trixie had finished, she was once more visibly shaken, and Carrot-Top was at her side immediately, holding her withers to calm the unicorn. "That's," Shirley said, keeping her voice down for Dinky's sake, "that's just irresponsible of Luna." "I don't think so," Lyra said, tapping her hoof to her mouth, as she thought over the history, which, as a bard, she was well versed in. "I mean, well, Luna has a point with that whole history thing. Nations do go through cycles like that. Either that or some outside power strikes them down when they're weak. Gloucester is an exception, especially considering how old it is. And maybe it is an exception because of what the princess does." "What's the bare minimum that she can?" Raindrops Karen, also struggling to keep her voice down. "There's following a law, and then there's hiding behind it. I know there's more she could do, legally. She's the princess. If she honestly thinks that this noble or that noble is corrupt, she could call them out in Night Court or something. What's she so afraid of?" Lyra saw Ditzy blink a few times at that. Pegasus looked down to her sleeping daughter. "Plenty," she said, drooping a wing over Dinky. Once Ditzy's eyes looked to her friends. I think that the princess is always afraid, at least since Corona." She gently squeezed Dinky with one wing. She shifted a little, leaning closer to her mother in her sleep. "She's got tons to be afraid of." Trixie nodded. "That's the impression I got, and I can understand why. But she's taken it too far. Sometimes Luna has to get personally involved in things, actually use her power. That wouldn't make her a tyrant. Trixie looked at each of her friends. Look at the tolerance and overcoming her features. In the night court, I think it needs a good, solid buck in the flank. Lara raised one eyebrow as he looked at Trixie. Uh-oh. Seatown, I know that look. That's your I have a plan look. Trixie nodded as she looked between her friends. Yeah, I do. And a part of it Luna knows about already. She's approved of it, and is helping me with it. She took off her hat and placed the brim down, mumbled a few magic words. A moment later, she pulled her hat off the floor, and dozens, scores even, of deep blue envelopes poured from the hat. Her and 5 ponies in the room stared at the envelopes. They looked very familiar. Identical, in fact, to a set of envelopes each of them had received a few months ago. Are those? Shirley asked. Trixie nodded. Grand Galloping Gala tickets, she confirmed, as the horn gloves began organizing the envelopes into neat stacks. 100 of them. 8 of them are for the town council. Luna wants to personally apologize to them at the gala, and work out any kind of help she can. But as for the rest, Trixie considered for a moment before shrugging, I was thinking of some kind of raffle tomorrow morning. Lara picked up a few in the envelopes herself, looking them over. The princess just added another 100 guests to the gala, just like that. Trixie started again. Every member of the night court receives an invitation in a +1, plus all other sorts of VIPs in their +1s. There's already going to be something like 700 ponies. Adding on 200 or more isn't that hard, especially since Luna can just relax the dress code and throw as many bits as you want to the catering services in Canterlot to supply more food and drink. The only real change is the venue. It's going to be moved to the courtyard rather than the grand hall. Trixie offered a grin. Luna is planning to say something about how Canterlot should have acted much faster to help Ponyville. That the ponies have all been invited as her personal guests, as part of an apology to Ponyville. Basically, she's going to try and make the ponies, the nobles, feel ashamed. Raindrops considered. Okay, she said. Good plan, I guess. You said that this is part that Luna knows about already. So I'm guessing you got something else planned too? Trixie grimaced at that, her grin dropping. Yeah, she said. Like I said, the night court is rotten, and we need to expose that. Expose Greengrass and Blueblood, and Fisher and Nightlight. So, I've got another plan too. I'll need your help to pull it off, and some help from other ponies I trust, and 1 or 2 that I don't trust at all. Trixie tapped her host together. It'll be illegal, but these attacks against us, trying to separate us, pull us apart, move us around, threaten our livelihoods, all this stuff that's happened to us since we became the elements, and now using an entire town as a pressure point, letting hundreds of ponies suffer just to get a 1 mare. It needs to stop, and it's only going to stop if Luna ponies up, and if the night court realizes that we aren't just pieces to be moved around on a board. That we are our own ponies, that we can strike back. Like I said, it'll be illegal. Very illegal. But I think we'll be doing something that's on paper wrong, so that we can do something that we know is morally right. But I'm not going to try and sell this, or play it up, or argue for it. If even one of you is against it, then we won't do it. I just hope for the best. Trixie paused for another moment, before beginning to talk again, outlining her plan. She did bring it up for them, to state everything she intended to do, and planned to have them do, who would be involved, and what she had hoped would be the result. As he was right, it was certainly illegal. Indeed, it bordered on outright treason. But in the end, wasn't everything the Night Court had been doing the same? Lara thought to her own breast with it. Greengrass had tried to use her mentor, Octavia, to manipulate her away from Ponyville, to drive a wedge between her and Trixie. Then later, he tried to get Octavia best far away, trying to manipulate Luna herself into doing his own dirty work. Octavia had been attacked by thugs from another Night Court noble as well, even if there was no solid proof linking that. There was a long silence after Trixie finished talking, as everybody thought over her plan. I'm in, Lyra said, first to speak up. Night Court needs to be bucked to the flank, so it can't hurt any pony anymore. Me too, Caritas said. Ponyville can't get caught up like this again. It's all thanks to us. They had us while we're down the way the Night Court did. There's this one pony, Raindrops pointing out in a moment, crossing her hose in front of her. But that one pony was the most powerful in Equestria. You nearly got away with it. Yeah, I'm in too. Charlie sighed. I wish we didn't have to, she said, but I'm in too. Not because of what's already happened. That's bad. And I know it's bad. But even worse is that Corona's out there somewhere. We can't wait years and years for Luna to fix everything like she plans to. We need to kick her into gear, or else Corona's gonna come knocking at the worst time. Then every pony suffers. Dizzy considered, once again squeezing Dinky close. How long until Dinky becomes a target? She asked softly. Some pony already tried to kidnap her once. Yeah, the Night Court wasn't really involved in that. But how long until some noble gets impatient, gets stupid, doesn't care about hurting her, or any of you? And like Dizzy nodded. I'll help. Trixie nodded. Okay. She said, okay. Zot. I was actually hoping you'd back out. Why? Lyra asked. Why? Trixie grimaced. Because now I have to go and do something I've been avoiding for years. It was the day of the gala, about 1:30 p.m. A certain Viscount Canterlot had only just finished his breakfast and was getting ready to perform a few quick duties before beginning his final preparations for his attendance at the gala, when he was interrupted by a page announcing he had a visitor. Scowling, the Viscount left his office, found himself looking at a blue unicorn with a silver mane, wearing a star-studded purple wizard's cape and hat. When he entered, the unicorn took off her hat, holding it in her hose, swallowed before looking him in the eye. Viscount Prince Bluebird, Trixie said, would you like to accompany me to the Grand Galloping Gala?